please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Captain's Log, Update 230929.7. This weekend we're going to dock in the relevant zone for null certainty. That sounds really pretentious, doesn't it? We're then going to take the weekend and start deploying, plotting, scheming, and then flogging. On this screen you see a video that was doing its rounds on Twitter. This video is obviously taken from TikTok, where they have another new trend, one that will totally get all of you on side. As you can see, the name of the game is to get the sausage in your mouth. Insert all the innuendo jokes you would like to insert here. And do feel free, while the video is playing with no audio because of copyright issues, to critique the technique of the hip thrust to get the sausage in the mouth, to end with the one person who does manage to successfully put the sausage in her mouth. We will not be slut-shaming here, but I will admit the technique was quite amusing and needed some work to improve and refine to ensure you got maximum sausage in mouth. Now with that intro out of the way, hello everyone, welcome to This Week at X. We started with one bit of weirdness, let's go to another one. Tweeted by Willie Mac. Your mum had to beat you horribly as a kid for this to be your kink. I don't entirely understand the point, but I'm certain there is a reason, a valid one at that. My critiques centre around why this has to be in a car park and why the boots being worn by the person administering the necessary punishment have to look like mailboxes. If anything's being slotted, it is not in those boots.
And everyone here, you give consent to everyone to kick you in the nuts?
I don't know if I'm gonna get that far.
All right, do you consent to me?
Yes.
All right. How's that?
Burning.
Hold it, hold it, hold it.
If you were male and at any point felt the need to cross your legs, or perhaps go online and order yourself a cup, it's okay, I've linked one down below in the pinned comment. So next I noticed death penalty was trending. I couldn't quite work out why, but I'm going to read one tweet from it and leave it to all of you to debate it, discuss it, politely, preferably in the comments. Styx Hexenhammer. I will never support the death penalty, as the state has no business being the arbiter of life and death. If someone commits a horrendous crime, life in prison, let them be tormented daily, knowing they will never see the outside again. Institute a Colosseum system for lifers by which 8 enter and only 1 leaves, gaining supervised parole, making a huge amount of cash and massively reducing the high security population. Reply underneath obviously pointing this out. You, I won't support the death penalty. You as well, I support the death penalty as long as someone other than the state is doing the dirty work. Styx replies, that isn't the death penalty, as it is voluntary. Lifers can either die in prison or take their chances, simple as. Another reply of interest. Nope, wrong, some have forfeited the privilege of living among us. Reply, and I have provided a solution whereby 7 out of 8 of them die, providing enormous revenue, enough to fund the prison system without any tax cash at all. I will not be providing an opinion on what I think concerning the death penalty. All I will say is, the death penalty has been considered by many people of late. Every time someone commits a truly horrendous crime in the United Kingdom, Lucy Letby was a great example of it. But we, the United Kingdom, abolished capital punishment a long time ago, and it is unlikely to garner any significant support in Parliament to ever be reintroduced. So on from one contentious subject to another. Jordan Peterson. No, the communists were worse, and that's a hard contest to win. A retweet of James Lindsay, who has tweeted, well, that the communists and the Nazis were the same, or equal. Yes. Reply, Chairman Mao's Great Leap Forward killed more people than Hitler. Tyler, you sure? Reply from Anon Wolfo Ragnar. Both Stalin and Mao individually killed more people than Hitler did, by multiple times as much. Mao exponentially so. Lenin, Stalin's predecessor, likewise directly or indirectly led to the deaths of a few million under the Red Scare and the Bolshevik Revolution. Tyler, why do you think we hear more about Hitler if the Mao one was bigger? Shouldn't they compare bad people to Mao if he's the worst instead of Hitler? I mean, they're both bad, but I think you get my point. Reply from KG. Probably because Jewish people were in Europe, whereas the Chinese were not. So European residents and the European diaspora focused more on the former, as it had a more immediate bearing on their societies until more recently. I would argue also One of the reasons we don't talk about what Mao did is because it is not regarded as important history in this particular area of the world. It is important history and should never be forgotten. What he did, what Lenin did, what Stalin did, and what Hitler were truly horrendous, atrocious. They should never be compared, of course not. But when people like to say that communism is the way forward, one points to this and says, are you sure about that? When people point to national whatever it was that Hitler claimed to espouse, no, definitely not. None of it ever worked, and it always ended up with someone causing phenomenal amounts of unnecessary harm to humans that they didn't regard as life worth living. I do think, though, for the sake of conversation and debate, of course, you can falsely equate if you wish, or say who is worse if you want. From a human side, while I do like to espouse no lives matter, in the instance of both communists and the Nazis, it won't be one that I on this channel ever seek to compare. History has been written in blood by both, and it is why I will always stand firmly against communism, and why I will stand firmly against any form of Nazi party. Insert the obligatory, but this party's Nazi and you tolerate them. Shut the fuck up, don't be that person. Moving on to something more lighthearted. Let's go with a round of F around and find out.
God loves you. God loves you, man. It is the love of God, or why you're angry, or why you're mad. How you doing, young lady?
And I can tell you something else. I had an abortion 2 years ago, and I don't regret it at all. They yanked the fetus out of my uterus. And I'm so happy.
Okay.
I'm so grateful.
Okay.
And I'm a professor at this university.
Okay.
And I make more money than you.
Okay.
And what else?
This is one of the strangest series of flexes I've ever heard in my life. Oh, look at me. I had an abortion. Congratulations. Oh, and I also make more money than you because I work here. I'm a success. I'm happy. You realize happiness is not derived just from having an abortion, right? It's also not a flex to say you're happy. In fact, if you have to tell people you're happy, chances are you're usually quite miserable. That's why I never tell anyone I'm happy, because I'm a miserable bitch. But there is more video yet. Don't worry.
What's your name?
That's none of your business.
I mean, we're being cordial here. You here got my mic. We're being cordial, right?
Yeah, we're being cordial.
We're being cordial. So, my name is Ricky Kessler. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you. Is that you just came up here to tell us your business without giving us your name?
Yeah, that's what I did.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll pray for you. Okay, we'll pray the Lord save you.
Thank you.
Okay, no problem. I wish I knew your name so we can know where to pray. Well, either way, your soul. Either way,
And
your soul.
kind of an asshole.
It's a very strange thing I've encountered over my years when I've been approached by those that are religious. I either show a level of indifference because I just don't care about faith, or if I do engage in conversation, I don't go in with a level of hostility. And that's because I know we're not going to agree. I'm not a religious person. I don't identify as agnostic or atheist or anything like that. I just don't do religion. But I'm going to respect you as an individual to believe whatever you want. The same goes for things like abortion. I have no real opinion on it because I just don't give a shit. No lives matter, everyone. But I know it's a contentious enough subject that if I did throw my weight behind either side, it would cause problems. It really would. When one removes themselves from certain discussions, life gets a lot easier. But the level of disrespect is quite interesting, isn't it?
What makes me that?
You kind of ruined everybody's lunch. They're like, oh,
Sorry.
you took the cord out?
Yeah, I took the cord out. Yeah, because
Okay.
you won't give me my mic back. Please,
Okay.
please give me my mic back, please. Please, young lady. Thank you. Thank you. Have a good day. Okay, you're not stronger than me. All right. God bless you.
God bless
Don't-
you.
So you know when I said this was an F around find out thing and we haven't got there yet? Okay, well it's happening now because she's refusing to give back what he is presenting to her so she can converse with him. In a public space, she's been a dickhead with someone else's private personal property. Oops. Well, let's see how that ends for her, shall we, before we move on.
Hey, officer! This young lady wants to try to rip my stuff up.
Oh, I'm assorting her.
She's assaulted. She's taking his stuff.
Okay,
Come
if
on.
I get arrested right now, I would
Why are
literally
you
laugh
touching
out
his equipment
loud.
like that?
Can I get my stuff? Can I get my stuff, ma'am?
Put your hands behind you.
We pray for the grace of God for you.
Well, you're a smeghead. I see you didn't lash out so well, though. Ha! Ya salaba.
Tofu. Just when you think it can't get any worse, it does. Included is a 14-second video taken from Eugenia Cooney's TikTok account. In it, she's wearing a costume and doing some, let's call it dancing, shall we? There is something quite alarming when you see it, of course. Yes, I know. Keemstar retweeted this with, Eugenia only got healthy when her friends betrayed her. They invited her over to hang, and secretly called the police and had her entered against her and her mother's will in a facility. After she gained weight and was healthy, she did a Shane Dawson documentary and blamed her friends for betraying her. The truth is, the real person betraying her was her mother this entire time, and her current state of health is proof of that. Shikara transformations. This is really bad. Chrissy Mayer. Mayer. Guys, did I lose too much weight? Be honest. The video itself is quite an alarming video to see. It really is. And many people have started yet again to call this out for what it is. It is the extreme end of what I usually comment on. Well, the other side of it anyway. That doesn't mean though that someone gets a pass, yet on YouTube they do. And I don't know why that's the case. I really don't understand why one is so protected. And I cannot offer legitimate criticism against those that should be criticized. And that would be those that enable this as much as the adult who's made the choices. There are multiple people involved in this, not just the one we see deteriorating. So let's have something a bit light-hearted here, everyone. A little audience participation for my male viewers. Men, would you want a wife that does this, yes or no? Included is an article image. Full-time wife. I get up at 6 AM to make my hubby breakfast and clean. If women looked after their men like me, they wouldn't get divorced. I have no answer for this. Why? Because I don't care what anyone else does with their life. I really don't. I know there are a lot of people who care how society is structured and formed. I'm not one of them. It's why I've called this audience participation, but I'm going to say this for men and women. Tell me what you think down below, because some of you might have a wife, some of you might have a stay-at-home husband, maybe you're a stay-at-home wife. Who am I to judge what you choose to do with your life? And I certainly do not look down upon anyone for making any choice with their life that might be seen by others to be the wrong choice. I don't believe there is such a thing when it comes to how one chooses to live their life. You can live with regret, of course. We all make mistakes. Animal, vegetable, mineral, or Cthulhukin, the superior master race. But I don't consider any of it a wrong thing, yes? And I know the reductio ad absurdum of it is, but what if you did this? No, I'm sure you had your reasons. Next. I believe the work Brianna Wu does is valuable. Not to say it's wrong to critique her, but most of what I've seen today seemed more inclined toward discarding her entirely. In critique, we ought to remain growth-oriented rather than destructive. I like the idea that anyone, anywhere at any time can have a valid opinion or be valuable. I do believe that. The problem someone like Brianna Wu has is that because of their involvement with Gamergate and the lies they espoused during Gamergate, it was going to be very hard, many years removed from Gamergate, for Brianna Wu to be taken seriously by the masses who know Brianna Wu as a serial liar, who also tried to run for office by running against the incumbent, who had been in a safe seat for a long time. That was clever. I liked that. It was quite the eye-opener. You are right, though, that Brianna Wu can in fact be valuable. Retweeted by Tipster. I agree with this take. We can all agree that Brianna Wu said in those DMs was wrong. What Brianna Wu said in the DMs was wrong. Hell, even she admits it. But we shouldn't be so quick to cast aside our own. This should be a learning moment for both her and the rest of us. Now, I have not seen the DMs, but I did take the time to go and find them. For those who don't know, Brianna Wu is trans. Yet in the DMs, Brianna Wu is being transphobic. Misa thinking people playing defense for Brianna Wu are looking like absolute
smegheads. I'm glad you unfollowed me now, you disingenuous hack.
Of course, a learning moment is vital for all's improvement and growth, yes. But leg to stand on, Jesus Christ, she has none.